Hello, my name is Nui, and today I'm gonna talk about reinstating cultural values. What is culture? Culture is not only values that are molded from a community's code of ethic, notions, and beliefs among every single spectrum of life, but also the representative of beauty. I remember there is a famous quote from Mahatma Gandhi that can fully support this idea. A nation's culture resides in the heart and in the souls of its people. And though many people understand what is meant by if you fire at the past from a pistol, the future will shoot back from a cannon. Some still, whether unintentionally or not, abandon the past. I'm not saying that they fire at the past from a pistol. Instead, I want to emphasize that sometimes it is not laceration, but mere oblivion that has a profound impact on our cultural values. Culture can be divided chronologically into two parts, traditional culture and modern culture, or categorically, intellectual culture and behavioral culture. In this talk, I will begin with intellectual culture, or to be specific, like literary culture, and from which the behavioral awareness of modern people towards contemporary values would be evaluated. For demonstration, I will make use of a familiar poem, which is Ông Đồ of Vũ Đình Liên. It is clear that the poem served as a reflection of the degradation of a symbolic value, which is Confucianism. And the protagonist's miserable destiny has a particular show that the decade of Confucianism and in general indicated the fact that people turn their back on old values in search of new one. From the hustle and bustle sense of people praying for luck via letter written by the main character to their indifference to things they used to urge for, it depicted vividly that a fact that a loss of a symbolic cultural value towards which Vietnamese poet Vũ Quần Phương expressed his sense of bitterness through an analogy between Ông Đồ and an artist without audiences or a girl without her elegance. Regardless of the disappearance of temporary bodies, the core value of the spirit will remain unchanged. And that immortal spirit is the foundation of a culture and of a nation. Like these days, we have blindly pursued the modern day features such as fast food and fast fashion. For all of them are kind of unstable, for they are basically fast. Thus, I think that at least once in life, we should work as an antiquarian with our both great pride and passions, because things that are considered to be the representative of beauty are never obsolete. And the poem is a reminder for us whenever we face a setback during the time we're seeking for an essential cultural values. Returning to the reason why we need those cultural values in our daily life, I would like to start with some of the benefits that knowing cultural values can bring to our life. In the past, customs, languages, and properties are totally different among countries. Hence, we could easily speculate a region a person comes from. For example, with Vietnamese people, we have some common customs such as eating beetles or having our teeth blackened. However, this is an era when the globalization is accelerated more than it has ever been. So, more and more cultural traits and standards are becoming united around the world. On top of that, we are living in a society where the massive amount of information encounters us every day that make us receive those sources of information passively. But you know what is even worse? Like, we even lose our motivation to check them out. Like I mentioned before, that we are becoming more and more alike. We are long past the time when all we need are just basic demands like food and accommodation. In other words, I mean, our purpose, like when our materialistic needs are satisfied, so as such, we naturally shift our attention to our mental needs. And our purpose is not only to survive, but to live deeply. So, appreciating cultural values is a way. For some example, let's consider two symbols of spring, apricot blossom and cherry blossom. Why I chose these two technical stuff to talk about? Actually, although they might sound a little bit technical, I still believe that there's a strong relationship between technical subject and real life values. So I believe that an above average understanding of a subject's cultural knowledge can deepen and complete our appreciation of that subject. Digging deeper culturally can make it more interesting and enjoyable people. So don't we all appreciate a richer intellectual life? Like apricot and cherry blossom typically bloom in spring, so people often take them as symbol for spring. However, these two types of flowers also have many other different meanings in different regions. So as the meaning of the apricot and cherry blossom change from west to east, so do their ideological meaning and spiritual meaning. Like for apricot blossom, whereas Western society sees the flower as a symbol of reminiscence for East Asian communities, especially Vietnamese one. This flower is considered to be the representative of valiant and noble spirit. And for cherry blossom, the Japanese believe that the cherry blossom is the soul of the Japanese nationalities and samurai. Separately, the Chinese take this flower to mean genius, and this type of flowers is closely tied to Chinese history. Considering how a single flower can have so many interpretations across nationalities and cultures, cultural knowledge, despite not helping us materialistically, certainly enhances our sense of nationality and community, and shows that we are nuanced, knowledgeable, and most of all, well-cultured, which are all things that enrich not only your values but also your intellectual life. So I believe that despite increases globalizations and cross-cultural communication or assimilations in this era, there still lie a deep-seated, the national and cultural ancestry to you as an irreplaceable part. Besides this, an above average understanding of familiar cultural values which have a deeper, more esoteric story underneath enables us to better appreciate the national culture, and because ultimately appreciation goes hand in hand with understanding. So knowing a little bit more about cultural values can enrich our lives, as well as remind ourselves of our responsibility to our origins, and above all, helping us not to become a person who shoots at the past from a pistol. Thank you.